Come on, Livingston, we're gonna go on and on and on. Together we can make it. We're gonna go on and on and on. Come on, Livingston.
Knocks it through. Mullen bursting into the box. Josh Mullen.
Together we can make it.
Mullen's ball across. It's turned in. It's Pittman who's got it. Livingston leads.
Road is long.
Can they get the ball back in? O'Brien.
The lead. And Livingston have the lead.
Man, score.
If we march to
The full-time whistle blows and David Hayes celebrates. And the Livingston fans join in exultation.
come on, Livingston.
Livingston have the lead against Rangers, and they are certainly rising to a few occasions on their return to the top flight in Scotland.
Come on, Livingston. We're gonna go.
You're listening to TalkLivi, your go-to podcast for all Livy fans to hear the latest about the club and listen to after-match reaction from the manager and players. This week I'm back and I'm joined by the usual lads, Andy and Ewan.
Just to make everyone aware, we've got a voiceover artist in instead of Callum, because you know the feedback we've had about Bruni's voice.
Absolutely choked with the cold.
With the flu, to be fair. Fair play for coming. Welcome back.
Cheers.
On this week's episode, we'll hear from Gary Holt and defender John Guthrie as they give us post-match reaction after the Hamilton game.
Lots of games coming up this month, and it's a busy podcast full of reviews and previews. We start by reviewing the game of Hamilton as we give our thoughts on what was a massive game for both clubs.
In our new feature, we take inspiration from the hit TV show Room 101. We'll tell you a bit more later on about that.
2 games to preview as well this week. First up, it's a trip to Tynecastle. We talk tactics, lineups and give our predictions.
We asked you to get in touch with your questions for us. We'll answer them later on in the episode.
And finally, we look ahead to the weekend's game as we welcome Kilmarnock to West Lothian. Again, we will preview the game, try and give you the stats ahead of this one, and hopefully this time predict the correct outcome.
So first up, we faced Hamilton this week. Before we get into it, let's hear what Gary Holt had to say following the game.
Someone's just asked me that outside. It's Hamilton on the vote of heritage. They'll only turn up and say, I go and win the game. You've got to earn the right. You've got to be proactive in creating chances and stuff. So I thought we were in the ascendancy to try and win the game. I thought we were, especially the second half, had a lot of play. But we just need to be a wee bit braver. And sometimes we talked about with the way we watched Hamilton, they'd get a lot more behind the ball and behind when you break, so it would take somebody shooting maybe from outside the box, and I don't think we took it on enough. I think we were just a wee bit should I shouldn't, and I said that to him, if you don't shoot you don't score. We always hit one at Hibs, it hit somebody and went in the opposite corner. Scott Brown hit one last week, hit off my centre half and in another corner, so if you don't, sometimes against a team that will get so many men behind the ball, it makes it difficult to get openings. But I felt we tried to win the game and we had a right good goal, but we got caught in the counter 1 or 2 times that we weren't too happy with, because you've got to realise that teams are going to sometimes sit in and make it difficult, but they can't hit in the counter, and you don't want to make, for all the play you have in the game and all the ascendancy you have in the game, you don't want to get undone by the sucker punching. But a clean sheet, and we tried to win the game, and I can't fault the lads for what they gave me. I do think it comes from the run of games we've had. We've been in more of a shape as a team, defending, limiting chances, not getting cut open because we've played some of the top sides in the league. So to try and change that full circle when you've got a lot of possession, it's going to take a wee bit of time, but I think we never took the extra pass on at times when it should have been on. That bravery to go when the balls will get fizzed into the box, that'll come with the games we've got ahead, being that wee bit positive, that wee bit more braver in 1v1 situations, where it does maybe come from the fact with the games we've played will be more of a structured, this is our shape, this is how we're going to do it, and we might only get 1 or 2 breaks of the ball to create chances, whereas today I thought we just maybe took the wrong option at times and wasn't brave enough, or weren't willing to risk it to have a shot from the edge of the box to see what could happen. I'm saying it's a goal all day long, but no, we don't have VAR and everybody's crying for that, but we don't have goal line technology first and foremost, so let's start walking before we can run, shall we say? But nah, it's part and parcel of the game. The referee and the linesman made the decision, so it's not one in. So we don't cry over it. Same second half. I thought the ball hit the boy's hand and the flick on for the header, but it's one of those. I need to see it back. It's very conclusive when it hit his hand, but is it a penalty? Is it not a penalty? I don't know, but yeah, I just think we need to be a wee bit more braver in the situation in the 1v1s. If you don't willing to risk it and take people on, you won't create enough chances in the game to win the game, and I think at times we were just a wee bit hesitant to go and do it.
Then we heard from defender John Guthrie. Here's what he had to say.
I don't know, to be honest. It's hard to see. It was pretty close. Tried persuading the ref that it had gone over, but I'll have to see it back before. I don't know. No, and everyone said it's hard to tell. It was pretty close. I think it just clipped sort of the bottom of the post. It's hard to tell which way it bounced out, but certainly close. But I can't tell at the moment. Yeah, I think, as you said, we had a lot of possession. I think that was the only team that really looked like they were going to score. We had a lot of the ball, couldn't quite break them down. Had a couple half chances, but unfortunately couldn't get that goal. Yeah, I mean, as you said, it looked like they were happy to get the point. Could tell that from quite early, so we tried, taking the initiative and pushing on and getting that goal. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it, so we're a bit disappointed in there. Obviously, take a clean sheet, but we felt like that was 2 points dropped. Yeah, I mean, obviously we haven't won since the Celtic game. But to be fair, we've had a tough run of fixtures. We know that games coming up are winnable games, so we're looking to put that right as soon as possible. Yeah, another big game. Obviously, I think they're playing tomorrow, aren't they? Game. We had a draw here, a tough battle. I think it'll be a tough game, but one that we can certainly go there and win. Obviously, they're struggling at the moment, so we, hopefully pile on that misery for them.
So into the game. Anyone got a positive spin on it at all? No.
I actually think we started really well.
I agree.
We created a few chances. I think Stevie Lawson out wide from the right hand side did pretty well. Got in a couple of good crosses. First of all, Stevie Lawless is quite unlucky. There's a ball in from Lawson, does well to beat his man and deliver. But I think the keeper's come out and claimed it just in front of Lawless. We've then got a shot from Lawless on the edge of the box. Again, shows kind of attacking intent, I would say, that we were on the front foot.
Guthrie's header as well, it got off the post, and it's debatable whether it was over the line. I've not seen it again. I
watched it back. I watched the highlights last night, and it's not really clear.
Conclusive.
You can see our players claiming for it.
VAR.
It's a good ball in actually from.
And Gary was talking about goal line technology yesterday in his press conference, but it's a luxury we don't have in Scottish football. So
it's a good ball in from Steve Lawson from the free kick, which I think we've been lacking from free kicks.
Just going to say we've been lacking in good deliveries into the box.
From corners as well.
One thing that's really bugged me recently is the floated, dinked ball into the box, which is very rarely going to come back with any sort of success.
Keegan's been
easy
over
to defend
dead
against
balls recently, and
the amount of goals we scored when we were promoted via, not long balls but set pieces and balls into the box, and even last season.
I think there was a couple of things that were grinding me yesterday. One was Dyke's going out to take a long throw. He's your number 9. You need him in the box. It's. Yeah, I know we've got a long throw weapon and we like to keep using it, but you know what? We need to come up with a plan B sometimes.
When was the last time we scored for a long throw?
Well, I was saying this
when Gallagher played, probably.
Well, I was saying that since we've lost Decky won everything that Al threw at his head. Right. Whilst this season we've not got quite the same, presence as such as Decky had.
Let's go back next week, probably.
Right,
potentially.
And then I agree with you over the dead balls. I was just kind of going to go on and say it. Keegan's been over dead balls recently, and it's been quite consistently poor of late. The deliveries. One of the reasons I suggested Suda last week is because his dead balls are pretty consistent and gives us a good threat. We've got guys like Guthrie, Lammy, coming up from the back and stuff like that. You need to give them a good delivery to work off of.
Dykes is obviously on these throw-ins because he used to play rugby league.
That'll be part of it. Yeah.
But see, there was a couple of times the throw-in went in. It was cleared, which obviously isn't great.
Yeah.
Then the ball broke back to the winger who was out beside Dykes, and they fed Dykes in, and he put in actually a couple of decent balls.
Yeah, I think obviously we mentioned it last week, Ewan, when we were previewing the game, that I felt this was a game we needed to get down the sides.
Yeah.
And we didn't do it enough. I mean, I don't know what the personnel's like, injury-wise. We're obviously struggling big time injury-wise. So it's hard to comment too much on the lineups. I just found it particularly confusing that Jacobs played at right back and you had Lawson playing further up when Lawson plays right back for his international team.
Yeah. Good international team as well.
Yeah, that one to me was a bit perplexing.
I just thought Aki seemed quite content to come for a point. It was quite
certainly
evident early on.
We're time wasting for about 20 minutes in.
I think, Gary touched on it a little bit after the game in that, we were in control of the game in terms of we looked like the only team that were going to go and win it. Mm-hmm. But I think Gary's maybe got things on his mind from previous games, like a couple of the games at Hamilton where we've gone a bit out and out to go and get the result. And he mentioned that they kind of hit us on the break a couple of times.
Yeah, near the end.
Near the end.
Yeah.
And I think it's one thing he talked to us about at the start of the season, Bruni, is that he doesn't want to, sometimes when you've not played great, just take minimum a point, take something from it, instead of shooting yourself in the foot. And I think maybe these things are creeping in because of the run of form we're on. Mm-hmm. Try and not lose the game rather than going for it and then getting hit with a sucker punch, basically.
It was just, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but it was again one of these games. I think what summed it up perfectly, Sam Stubbs, Hamilton's defender, slips, Dykes is allowed in behind. It's sort of a poor cut back. Pittman's shots blocked, then Lawless shots blocked, then Pittman has another shot blocked, and it's just the ball wouldn't fall for us. None of the ricochets, the break of the ball just wouldn't go our way.
Yeah.
It's becoming really frustrating.
I feel like we played right into their hands, Hamilton, by playing right down the throat of their team.
Yeah.
Because the spine of their team, you could argue, is about their strongest. I mentioned Stubbs being one of Hamilton's better players.
Hamilton fans talk about how important Easton is as well.
We fell into. I feel like we fall into the same trap over and over against Hamilton.
Playing their game.
Yeah, we play their game, and we mentioned it, Ewan, that we need to go into the game and play our own game. We have better football players than them.
I said,
get the ball down, pass it around them, move them around, get down the sides, and the once or twice that we did get to do that, we opened them up and we created chances.
I think it shows a bit of lack of confidence in the run of form we're on, because I think players weren't willing to take the same risks on the ball.
Yeah.
They were more inclined to go, let's just get the ball down the park, down that end. Mm-hmm. Let's play safe. There was a couple of players who were trying to open up and create. I thought Crawford, it's a shame he had to come off, because I think he was one of the players that was getting his foot on the ball and trying to create. I think when Robbo came on, made a massive difference in terms of having someone supporting Dykes and someone to link with. And again, Robbo was trying to make things happen.
Yep.
I thought the sub with Erskine, it was probably one of those subs that Erskine's quite creative.
Yeah.
I think we were trying, but again, we weren't maybe going with Suda, for example, who's, Erskine's a bit more clued up, let's say, a bit more responsible in the park, right? While Suda kind of, you lose any sort of defensive.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I really liked Taylor Sinclair going forward yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he had a good game.
I think he was probably harshly criticised the way at Celtic, kind of a baptism of fire.
Yeah.
Your first game in don't know how many months.
I thought he was pretty solid.
He's similar to Devlin in the sense where he's overlapping and going forward.
I think that the thing is though, it's hard to tell defensively because we didn't do a lot of defending in the game.
Didn't even attack.
I think that's one positive thing I would look at is
clean
I felt Hamilton were worse than us.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing for me going forward.
But saying that, they've got 4 points off us this season.
They have got, it's absolute, and we spoke about it right at the start of the season that the important thing for us is to get points off of the teams that are going to be around us, and obviously, like you say, we've dropped 4 points out of 6 against Hamilton this season now.
Even in games like the Motherwell opening day, we've got St Johnstone away from home, we threw away a 2-goal lead. Hibs away, the same 2-goal lead, with missing chances. And I wouldn't say we missed a clear-cut chance yesterday, maybe Guthrie's you could argue.
Yeah.
But Dykes missed that penalty, and then Tiff's, obviously you know the sitter. But
you can absolutely see that there's a real
there's
sort of lack of confidence
there's a
creeping
there's
in, and that'll
yeah.
happen when you're on a run of 1 win in 12. That's always going to happen.
There's positives that
Accies
we're
are 1 in
taking these
13.
teams.
Yeah, exactly. And you could see that. You could see that with AIM yesterday. That they were struggling as well. So it's only natural that you're not going to take as many risks. I'm sure the management team are working on that.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm worried.
I'm not overly concerned.
Do you think we looked at that game yesterday a bit as a must not lose rather than a must
potentially.
win?
I came away for the game thinking along those lines actually. Well, at least we didn't lose because
we have
still maintained that.
We have
gap.
technically gained the point.
Yeah, on the teams at the bottom.
St Johnstone, St Mirren, all were beaten.
Yeah, the only thing, obviously, it wasn't a great spectacle for the people that were there. And the other worrying thing we mentioned, injury problems. Bartley limped off.
Yeah.
Crawford limped off.
Well, from what Gary was saying, he thinks Bartley will be alright.
Yeah.
He just landed on someone's foot.
Oh, Bartley will play against Hearts. No doubt.
Loves it.
He didn't kind of mention Crawford, but again, the fact that he didn't nobody mentioned Robbie I'd take as a positive in a way. So.
And I think obviously it's good to have London back.
Yeah.
But we need to start playing his strengths again. I didn't feel like we'd done that.
I feel at the start of the season, when we were set up, we had runners constantly off the dikes, and that made it what you had Lawless and Suda running off him all the time and constantly up in support. I feel because we're creeping into this run of form, well, not crept into it, we've been on this run of form, I think again, it's just that not taking the risk to maybe make a run forward off the dikes. You know, you're just hoping he'll hang on to it, and then you can get up in support and go, right, he's now got it. Instead of gambling on him winning the ball or something.
I'm caught two minds whether it's a positive or negative that we're in basically every single game.
Yeah.
Bar Ibrox and Celtic Park.
No, I think we were in the game at Ibrox. I think the home game with
yeah.
Rangers, we weren't in. I'd say we were well in the game at Ibrox.
But these games that I mentioned, the Motherwell one, Hibs, St Johnstone, I'm just trying to think if it's a positive or negative. If we're doing well.
Well, we're not far away.
No, we're good enough. It's just I think one day the shooting boots will be on.
We just need somebody to fall for us. We just need somebody to fall for us. But there we go. We've spent about 12 minutes there discussing a 0-0 draw. That's a pretty decent effort.
I think the other thing you've got to mention is last season you had 3 teams that were cut adrift, right, which helped us, quite a lot. I think this season,
but that's because
the positive you can look at is I think there's going to be 4 or 5 teams involved in this.
Yeah.
So I don't think there'll come a point where we get cut adrift or a team will be cut adrift. I think teams will always be in it. And we said at the start of the season we were going to be involved in this gap.
Absolutely.
So it shouldn't come as a surprise.
And as we sit, we're 7th in the league.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely crazy. We're 3 points off the bottom of the league, but we're sitting 7th, and that shows how tight it is between those bottom 6 teams.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can pick up some points. It's a big week, a lot of games coming up. Hopefully we can pick up a win going forward in the next couple at least.
Yeah.
We are delighted to introduce a new feature to the podcast this week. We're definitely not plagiarising any TV shows or copying any fellow podcasts.
Definitely not.
We shall say we've taken inspiration from the hit TV show Room 101. Now, if you haven't seen the show, it's basically 3 folk arguing to rid the world, in this case the football world, of something they hate for good, but only one thing can be chosen out of 3.
Now, the 3 of us will name something we absolutely despise about football and argue our case to rid it from the world of football for good. And to make it a little bit more unique to us, we've decided to name this feature after one of our most Marmite players of all time, former record appearance holder and club captain Liam Fox.
So on this feature, it'll be up to you, the listeners, to decide who wins it each week. We will give you weekly polls on our Twitter, which is @TalkLivi, if you don't follow us on that. You'll get to decide which of the 3 really does your Fox in the most. So I think we'll start with you, Ewan. What does your Fox in?
Players finding the last blade of white grass at a corner to put the ball in the quadrant, right? I get it, it's in the rules, right? But honest to God, what advantage do you gain? Like, genuinely, what are you gaining by putting the ball 3 millimetres right? Try to find the overhanging the last
Winds
blade of
up the
white
fans,
grass. It is infuriating. It's actually takes so much time to do it as well. I mind watching Ryan Giggs when I was younger, and all Ryan Giggs used to do was roll the ball in with his foot and then take a corner. Right? But honestly, players spend like 30 seconds like trying to place the ball so strategically over the last blade, in our case white.
You may as well
plastic.
make the most of it though. A set piece, I mean, especially for Livingston as well. Set piece.
It's
is
millimetres. It's millimetres.
No, but how big's the corner flag? Like, how big's the corner quadrants?
I mean,
Maybe
you
a
say
yard. No?
It's big enough that you don't need to overhang it over that blade of white, in our case plastic.
I can see you're quite angry about this.
It does my head in every week.
Does your fox in?
It does my fox in.
Who came up with that name?
The thing is though, you say that during your whole piece there that it's within the laws of the game.
Yeah, but players,
Yeah, that's why it
players
doesn't bother
stop
me.
being so anal about it. Like, it really won't make that much of a difference. Has there been a study done to show that those centimetres that they're using, instead of just putting it in the quadrant?
Could be a different. Like, it could be a.
Stop arguing!
It's our job to argue against it.
We've to critique you, mate.
Yeah.
It is.
What about the corner flag? What about the corner flag? Does
Yeah,
that
that
would
would
annoy me more. The actual
Well,
corner
if you're
flag.
right-footed, you put it the right side of the corner flag. If you're left-footed, you put it the other side, so that you don't run into the flag. It's quite obvious.
The law is if the ball is overhanging the white line, then that's fine. So I don't see
But
the
no,
problem.
players spending almost a minute trying to place it.
And then not beating the first man.
And then they don't be the
Yeah.
first man, right?
Okay, that
They've
does
literally
annoy me.
gained no advantage from this, despite trying to gain some sort of advantage from it.
That's mine next week. Not beating the first man.
Aye, okay, fair enough. Mine's, and I know we have one of these at Livingston, but it just really does my fox in. Just keep firing that in there.
Good name.
Yeah, it's a good name, Callum.
Yeah,
well
who came
thought
up-
of.
who came up with that?
Is dedicated throw-in takers. Now, I just don't see the point.
Rory Delap.
I mean,
Sorry if you're
okay,
listening.
I understand if it's a long throw-in taker. Okay, I get
So what
that.
Andy's trying to say is, Gary, Davey, we want you to get rid of Alan Lithgow.
No.
Because he's good at throws. This is
No.
what Andy's saying. So Andy wants rid of club captain.
No, I
Alan
never
Lithgow,
interrupted you.
who's a club led. No,
I never
you
interrupted
guys got
you.
involved in mine. I'm getting involved in yours.
No, it's the ones that, you know, I'll run for the opposite side of the park, which Lithgow does, granted, but Lithgow launches it into the box, which is useful. But it's the ones that run for the opposite side of the park, clean the ball, and then throw it to the guy that's just threw him the ball for a
Wait.
yard away.
Wait.
Why couldn't the boy that had
Wait.
the ball just throw it?
Wait.
What's the point?
Is it within the laws of the game?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
Mine's aren't. But
I just don't. It just bugs the life. And then you've got that one player that's came for the left side of midfield, that's came over to the right to take the throw in, who's now out of position if the ball breaks to the opposition.
You could say that for corners though.
Okay, dedicated corner takers. Yeah.
So what, you're going to have the person that's closest to taking the corner?
Yes.
They'd be
What is the problem?
they'd
They're
be
all
shy then,
professional
they'd be-
footballers. They should be able to kick a ball into the box.
So what if-
Just like anybody, a professional footballer should be able to put the ball behind their head and throw it to our player.
What if-
Anybody could do that.
What if we're playing a 3 with no wingers, and the ball's on the left hand side, and the closest to it's your left centre half taking a corner?
So what you're
What's
saying?
the point?
What you're saying is, if we get a corner on this right hand side and we play a right-sided player, we can never do an
I
in-swinging
don't want
corner.
to put that into.
In swinging, I should have said in swinging. I love in swinging corners. Hate out swinging corners.
I don't want to put that in. I want to put dedicated front takers in because it just bugs the life
But it's
out
an
of me.
advantage. It's a good thing.
It's not a good
I
thing.
guess.
The guy throws the guy who the ball gets put out of the pitch. The player comes over, gets the ball and throws it. Any one of us could do that. Never mind the professional footballer. Come on.
Andy, let's be honest. Look at you.
I could still throw a ball 2 yards to my own player.
But we're talking about what about long throws? Is it okay for long throws? Or?
Well, yes, and I said that at the beginning.
So
There's no real dedicated throwing takers. From
There is dedicated.
No, there's
there is.
not.
I've never
This
seen
is long.
I've never seen a left back run the
How
width
many
of the
times?
But
park
it's always
to
the
go and take a
fullback.
throw in at the right hand side and throw it 2 yards.
How many times?
Not
do you
once
see-
have I seen that.
How many times do you see a player getting the ball, humming and hawing with it, and then going, actually, it's not my job to take this throw in. You come and take it. throws it to the other boy to take the throw in.
So they can get into position.
Well, what, the other player is in his position. What is the point?
If a winger's taking the throw in, you need to get us up the pitch.
Well,
give it to the fullback.
Let's just
winger can then win the ball.
put this to the listeners, because I'm getting fully critiqued here. It's not fair.
This feature was made up to rip the piss out of Andy.
Callum, go for it.
Well, we're actually on the subject of throw-ins. Fullbacks cheating the referee. This is actually not within the laws of the game. So I think they're the worst players on the pitch for cheating referees, in my opinion. Other than goalkeepers with time wasted. Specifically two things. First of all, how often do we see them gain 10 to 15 yards from throw-ins?
We do it.
Does my head in though?
It does your head in that we do it.
Everything's fine when your team does it though, isn't it?
So when Alan Lithgow, the dedicated phone taker for the club, runs over to take it and runs down to the wall.
Everything's fine when
runs down to the wall that cuts in.
To give a more room to throw the ball in.
Everything's fine when your team does it though, isn't it? If we dive for a penalty, you're going to slag everybody off. You're going to slag the player off that dived.
Yeah, we have done in the past.
What if it keeps us up?
I see your one in our section where we sit at Livy. We sit behind the home dugout. I've noticed this at Livy. There is a real thing about folks stealing yards. Like, when we're not doing well in a game, that's one of the first go-to things they start going mental about.
That's why I picked it, because I won the poll.
Tactical choice.
But it's not just throw-ins with fullbacks. It's when they get themselves into a bit of bother, their backs to the attacker. They're trying to maybe shield it out for a goal kick or something. The slightest bit of contact, the guy's trying to win the ball.
Nah, you can't have
not clever.
A fullback.
Wait a minute. So what do you want to rid of the world then? You want to rid fullbacks?
Cheating fullbacks.
This is like last week when you were trying to have two predictions to the Celtic game. You're trying to put two things in the poll.
We'll go gaining yards from throw-ins in, but I just wanted to add that also does my head in with does my fox in with fullbacks. They're shielding the ball out of play. They get the tiniest bit of contact. They fall over. Not even 9 times out of 10. Every single time they get the foul and it gets them out of jail.
Is that not the referee's fault though, not the fullback's fault?
No, it's the fullback's fault. Because they're cheats. Well, no.
You heard that here, Nicky?
It takes a cheat to know a cheat, and you cheated last week, but like Scott Allen.
Didn't cheat last week. Let's clear this up. I'd said all week to my mates, to everyone that had asked me, to predictor leagues that I do out with the podcast, that Celtic would win 4-0. So I went into the game going, I've said 4-0 here.
But what did you say for the podcast?
I think I've got my prediction right. Wait a second, June.
Allowed me to update the table, saying, yes, I got 3 points.
No.
Calm down, girls. Let them talk.
You updated it during the game, which was wrong. Anyway.
I was hoping.
Got it wrong yourself. And I hadn't realised on the podcast, which was 2 weeks actually before the game because of the international break, I'd said 4-1. So I'd made a bit of a tit of myself, thinking going into the game, I've said 4-0, I was feeling a bit smug. Then I got home and I was like, wait, I've actually predicted 4-1. So
that's your fox.
That really does your fox, innit? But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the new feature. This will be a weekly thing. We'll try to rid the world of really annoying things. We'll fire up.
We'll try and rid you of Andy.
We'll fire up a poll during the week. So, Ewan's, what was yours again?
Last blade of white grass taking a corner quadrant.
And mine was dedicated throw-in takers. And Callum, well, we've still no idea.
Fullbacks cheating to gain 10 and 15 yards from throws.
Stealing yards at throws. Yes. We'll go with the really basic.
That. Sorry to any fullbacks listening to the podcast.
Nicky,
if you play for us, I love you. So there we go.
So pick the one that really annoys you the most. Dedicated throw-in takers.
Time to preview the first of 2 games coming up this week now. On Wednesday, we travel to the capital to face Hearts at Tynecastle. Despite their poor start to the season for Hearts, they'll see this as probably an ideal opportunity to jump up the table and pick up 3 points. It's going to be a tough game, I'd say, for us. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it will be. I mean, Hearts, they had a good result against St Mirren. First game, Austin McPhee was in charge, but then last week against Kilmarnock, they were
horrendous,
absolutely horrific. Yeah. So I have no idea really what to expect from Hearts on Wednesday night. I genuinely don't know what to expect. I think it's a really difficult one to call.
It is, and I was thinking exactly along the same lines as you. You kind of knew what you were going to get for Levine Hearts.
Yeah.
You know, a bit sort of boring, long ball.
Grind it out.
Yeah, grind it out. Whereas you didn't have a clue what's going to happen.
I mean, he's
McPhee.
playing Uche Ekpezu out wide.
Yeah.
You know, it's just I'm actually lost for once, and I genuinely don't know what to expect.
At the time of recording, they've not been to Ibrox yet.
Yeah.
So they could be off the. I think they'll personally get hammered.
Yeah.
But I mean, they could be coming off the back of maybe a decent point there, or I don't know.
I think you hit the nail on the head, Callum, just before we started recording this part about the whole managerial situation at Hearts. I think Anne Budge has been hoping that McPhee is going to do a good job, and just the easy thing to do would be give him the job.
Well, he was at our game yesterday, I believe. So I mean, that would indicate he's scouting him for him to take charge on Wednesday, perhaps, because they've obviously not appointed a new manager yet.
Yeah, and that was
Stendhal, isn't
that
it?
was the thing that I was worried about going into this sort of period of games. Is Hearts will probably have announced a new manager. They'll have that new manager bounce that every club gets, but at the moment.
Like with Hibs,
Yeah, at the moment it doesn't seem to be happening for Hearts. So I totally agree with you, and it's such a hard one to call. Obviously, Tynecastle's a hard place to go to, regardless of how the home team are playing.
I do think we tend to play quite well at Tynecastle, though. I think it's one of the away grounds I enjoy going to, partly because I do think we tend to play quite well there.
Our last victory at Tynecastle. Do you want to hazard a guess?
You know, get this.
I reckon it would have been when we won 3-2, final day of the season 2002.
11th of May 2002.
Wow. How many games have we played them in between?
We've had a few draws there, but after that,
few draws, but I mean the majority of the time. I mean,
most of the games have been fair. I think
us.
most of the games have been fairly, and we've always been in the games. I think there's only one we got beat 5-0.
Returned to favour last season though.
Yeah. That's the only game I can remember being well and truly done over by Hearts. So I think
I don't think Hearts are anything special this season.
No,
we saw last season in the league we didn't concede to them, and okay, they beat us in the cup, but since in the 4 games we played them in the league since coming back, obviously up to the top flight, they've not scored against us and haven't beaten us. Obviously,
I do think there is a player that gives me a bit of cause for concern that's back. Is
your mate
Naismith. My best mate Naisy. To be fair, did he do the business for Scotland? Yes, he did. Thank you. Case closed.
my gran could play for Scotland.
Yeah, my nan.
No, that's chat again. Right, but anyway, Naismith, I think, cause he's such an intelligent player, I think could cause us a few problems at the back. That gives me a little bit of concern,
especially if they go 2 up top.
I think when we play Uche, you kind of know they're just going to lump it at him, right? Whilst Naismith's a bit more intelligent, and I just think he could cause our centre halves a load of problems.
Yeah. I don't think Hearts. I mean, I get Naismith hasn't been playing. I think he made a massive difference to their team against St Mirren. That was 5-2. I think he scored a couple. But Hearts,
scored.
Let's not forget, Hearts have only won twice this season.
Yeah,
they've won at Easter Road, which I'm not going to say was a fluke, but I think they were lucky to win that day. I don't think they.
So what you're saying is it was
dominated.
A fluke?
Well, a wee bit. And they brushed St Mirren aside, but still they're there to be got at. St Mirren scored 2 goals, which from a defensive point of view from Hearts was terrible.
Yeah. Is this maybe the ideal game for us just now? You know, it sounds a bit stupid, but
I think you said that with Hamilton at the weekend.
I don't know. You're going. We're notoriously good against your bigger sides in the country.
We're good at that, and we sometimes
stifle opposition, frustrate them, and hit on the break. That's what we're good at.
We sometimes sit in, but I genuinely, I mean, okay, we're away from home, but I genuinely believe if we took it to Hearts and we played, I wouldn't say tried to control the game, but
I think we're more than capable of giving Hearts a game.
Going forward, I think we can create a lot.
I think we're capable of giving pretty much anything. I think we've shown that in spells this season. We can give any team in the league a game.
Yeah.
Get right at Big Berra, man. Honestly.
Right.
Big
I think
Christoph Berra's so far past it. Berra's so far past it.
And I think that's one we kind of missed out on the last game, was having Dykes up against him. I think he could cause him a load of problems.
We also played with 10 men for the majority of the second half against Hearts. They still didn't manage to score against us, which is a positive.
It was a Levine Hearts.
It was.
I think
it was a terrible
what we
team as
thinking, formations wise or personnel, or
It's hard with personnel just now because we just don't know who's fit.
player I'd like to see Sibbald.
Yeah, there's a question about Sibbald in our next sort of segment, but he's been unlucky, hasn't he?
I think he came in against Hibs, and it's probably quite a similar-ish game. You know, Hibs were on a poor run of form at that point, and he came in. What he's good at away from home, he just holds on to the ball, Sibbald, but he has that little bit of creative spark in him as well. And I think he was excellent against Hibs, and I think Gary touched on it last week. He was ill, which is why he's not been involved recently. It was the same with Robbo. So I'd like to see Sibbald given a chance.
I'd like to see a front four of...
Front four? Oh, Jesus.
4-2-4.
Well, 4-2-3-1.
Nah.
With Dykes the main focal point, Lawless out on the left, Pittman in behind, and Sibbald on the right. With I think Robinson coming off the bench.
No Robinson after his impact he had against Hamilton.
Could you go 2 up?
That was the next question I was going to ask.
We saw the difference when you had Robbo up next to Dykes.
We definitely look more threatening.
I don't think we'll start with 2 away from home against Hearts.
No, I personally think we'll go similar to what we do against Rangers and Celtic with a 4-1-4-1 sort of thing.
Yeah,
I like
Sibbald, really tight and compact.
Sibbald cutting in from the right hand side. I think yesterday we lacked maybe the creative spark. I think Sibbald can turn the game on its head with a through ball, or you dribble past somebody. I think
he wants to have the ball on his feet and try and create, doesn't he?
And you've taken the words out of my mouth. We spoke about it in the Hamilton game. We need someone to be a bit more composed on the ball.
Take the game by the scruff of the neck.
We need a defender to step out for defence, be brave with the ball, sort of a Halkett type. You know, take the ball a run 10-15 yards out, force them on the back foot, get the ball into feet in midfield and create something that way rather than lumping it up, hoping for the best. I know that's what we've been good at over the years, but we're struggling a bit, and we need to find some sort of form, so we need to do something differently. So despite all of that, and despite we're struggling to sort of look at the game, predictions.
1 each.
Right in there, Callum.
Going to be positive. So 1 each.
Come back to me.
Coming back to I really don't want to be negative, but I'm struggling for this one. I think 2-0 Hearts. Just with our injury problems, and we don't know how we're going to line up.
Yeah, I think we'll get beat.
Yeah, so there's 3 points.
I think we'll get beat. I agree with you, Andy. 2-0.
2-0 as well. Wow. So there you go. By the way, we were all wrong against Hamilton, so let's hope we're all wrong again. This could be a tactic going forward. If we win on Wednesday night against Hearts, let's just keep predicting the opposite to what we think.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll do.
But the thing is, that's what we all think.
True. But hopefully we'll see you at Tynecastle on Wednesday.
TalkLivi Question time now. We asked you to get in touch with questions for us to answer, and you sent in a fair few. So first up, what kind of level have you guys played at? Had any trials or do any coaching?
This is definitely a question that's thrown me under the bus.
We'll tell you what, we'll throw you under the bus. So Andy, what's your football prowess?
Absolutely none.
So it's quite, so what you're saying is you sit here giving your opinions on football, and you've actually got no.
Wait a minute. One of the best managers, in fact, a few of the best managers in the world have never played football.
Who?
Jose Mourinho never played.
He played amateur.
That's the man. Come on.
No, he played football. He played football.
I played at school level. Does that count?
To quote Jose Mourinho, if I speak, big trouble.
I played a couple of charity matches over the years.
You played a couple of charity matches.
Yeah, I played a couple of charity matches.
How big were the kits?
to whoever, I can't remember who put this. Thanks for firing that question in there. That's really appreciative, and it allows you to brag about being a coach and doing all of this and that. And so, Ewan, let's hear your big list CV of your football prowess.
Used to play on Lithgow Rose when I was younger. Played college and uni football. Then coaching wise, when I was 14, started coaching with Livy when they were doing their community programme. Coached with Lithgow Rose, coached with Boness for 5 years, and I now coach with Spartans. So I've been coaching half my lifetime, I've now figured out, which is slightly depressing.
I finished second at the foot golf. Does that count?
Well, to be fair, we all know you cheated because you were the only one that self-marked your scorecard.
I did not cheat.
Everyone else checked everyone else's scorecard except yours. You cheated.
Fuck off.
That's an admission of cheating. You're Scott Allen of football.
I'm still relatively young, so with the likes of David Marshall getting a game in goals with Scotland, I think I've still got a chance. But no.
Did you not concede 9 the other day?
Oh, she did 9, but I did save 2 penalties, so...
Oh yeah, that's great. Aye, that stops
Callum,
the other
you've got a good story about a game where you got man of the match as well.
Right. Basically, I played boys club with Muirston United, relatively decent level. Then I kind of fell out of love with playing football in a way. Like I'd had spells and goals, and then
hold on, and guys, can you pause? I'm just going to find my violin.
I used to because at 7-a-side I was like using I'm 6'5", so
is that it?
When I was at 7-a-side I was probably the biggest player in the pitch. They just stuck me up front.
You're bigger than the tree outside my flat.
Then because of my height again, went in goals. Really enjoyed that. Left. Then I went to join kind of an amateur team, Polbeth. Played in goals there. Tried a wee bit outfield. Still currently play for my uni team, but not really a high level. But I enjoy playing football. Yeah. Unlike Andrew, who plays bowls.
Yeah, I do, and golf and all the lazy sports that you can.
Darts.
Don't bash it until you've tried it. Anyway, we'll move on for that question. Thanks very much for that. So. On to the next one. Why does there appear to be an apathy towards the smaller games from fans? So I'm assuming this is a kind of go at the attendance.
I'm not speaking about fans. I cannot be arsed.
I think
just no support. It's just deflating.
I think it's what makes it really difficult as a fan is how well, I hate the phrase, we've done over the last few years.
Oh, there it is. There, apologies.
But normally when teams do have a kind of bounce like that, the crowds spike at the same time.
Kilmarnock.
You look at Kilmarnock, St Mirren when they won the first division, the championship, a couple of seasons back. Right, their crowds picked up massively, and ours is just.
Kind of stagnant.
Getting worse.
It's actually getting worse again, and it's really deflating and disheartening, and I'm sure the club feel that as well. But
like, what more do we need to do?
I mean, you look, we've done a half season ticket for under 16s. It's £30.
Yeah.
£30. It works out like £3 a game. And it's
get out of the house. Stop watching Rangers and Celtic TV and go support your local team.
Here.
But really, what I'd love to see more fans come into these games, because let's be honest, these are the games that make or break our season. You know, in this division. So I would love to see more fans, more bums on seats for games against Hamilton.
You mentioned there about prices though. That's a brilliant price for the half season ticket for under 16s. But we're looking at not just Livingston, the whole of Scottish football really.
Yeah.
Me and you were at Celtic
at least for
me and you were at Celtic Park last week, right? And Celtic keep going on the Green Brigade with their 20s plenty. I'll tell you what, get your own house in order first when you're charging £30
to
not sit behind a pillar. You know, £27 to sit behind a pillar.
Hearts on Wednesday. There's another prime example. You know, £29 for us.
21 for a student as well.
To sit in that stand, £29. But if you're a Hearts fan, you can sit in another stand for £23. It's same, perfectly, probably a better view than what we get for cheaper.
Right.
And they wonder why there's no fans going to games. It's an absolute shambles. But
I do agree with that 20 is plenty movement.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But you know what?
I think Celtic do it as well for their own board. The Green Brigade aren't really notorious for having a good relationship with.
Ticket prices has obviously gone way off topic, and you could sit here and debate until the cows come home about ticket pricing and all
Said
that.
I wasn't talking about it, and look at me go.
But yeah, totally agree with the way the question's going. There is an apathy towards the smaller games. I think as well, you're playing against Hamilton. It was freezing cold.
It's Black Friday
Christmas
weekend.
Christmas coming up. It's maybe one of the games that a lot of people just thought, actually, for me today.
Yeah.
Because they kind of knew what to expect in the game, and it was that type of game.
Yeah. Next up we had yes or yes. Should Craig Sibbald be given a chance? Well, I've already...
Not really a question, is it?
It's
It's like telling us yes.
So that's more a statement. Craig Sibbald should be given a chance.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it previewing the Hearts game. I would throw him into the team, give him a chance, but I think again we'll touch on transfers coming up. But if he's not going to get a game, and you're the management team, you're gonna look to offload him, which I personally wouldn't do, because I think he should be given a chance, as I say. But if he's not playing and he's sitting on the bench every week or not even getting in the squad, there's no point having him there. But I think he's a really good player. You saw that from his time at Falkirk.
Now, Bruni,
absolutely.
you put in the chat for kind of our next question, so I'll let you take the lead on it. What are our realistic ambitions for additions come January?
January. So obviously, I think it's a really difficult time to get players in. You're looking at really guys that aren't featuring for their teams.
For a club like us, it's difficult because it's always a case of one in, one out.
But
Type thing.
that January window.
It's a difficult one for doing that.
A January window can totally change your season. We saw that with
the playoff season.
Lee Miller, Ryan Hardy, Jordan Thompson.
I think, as you say, it's a difficult month for every club, but specifically clubs like ourselves. As you say, one in, one out, but it's also generally players that other clubs didn't want.
No, exactly.
So generally, I'm not saying that's the rule, but generally it's players that other teams didn't want.
A club of our size and budget, though, that maybe sometimes works in our advantage. I've got a couple of players here, a couple of strikers actually, who haven't really been featuring for their respective clubs. Ollie Shaw at Hibs, potential good loan option, and the one that I think would be brilliant would be Bruce Anderson from Aberdeen. He's banging them in with the under-20s. He's rarely featured for Aberdeen over the last 2 seasons.
With regards to those two, and this isn't facts, this is just rumours that I'd came across.
We were in for both of them. That we
were in for both of them in the summer.
Yeah. To
come in on loan, and we were outpriced for both. The both clubs wanted something ridiculous for the season, something like 50 grand each just for the loan. And that kind of just put it on the back burner. We say there's no way we're paying that. We could go out and buy a player.
Maybe in January that's going to happen.
Yeah, potentially, but definitely 2 decent shouts. And obviously, if rumours are true, then they're very good shouts because we've obviously looked at them.
January's difficult as well, but we did sign Lyndon Dykes in January. Obviously, we loaned him back, but
I think
Kevin Nisbet at Dunfermline's really caught my eye. I think long term, obviously probably not in January, but long term, I think he's somebody we should be looking to get in. Again, it's difficult with, we don't know how much the club has to spend, etc., and how much this guy's on, and how much.
I think
we've got to be very shrewd in the transfer market, and I've looked at the boy Alan Forrest at Ayr United.
Yeah.
Now he's out of contract in the summer. And we mentioned Craig Sibbald, and this is not me wanting to get rid of Craig Sibbald because I rate him. But if he's not going to play, like you said, I know Ayr United were interested in Sibbald in the summer. So is there a potential there to look at sending Sibbald to Ayr to bring Forrest into us? I rate the lad. I think he's got big potential. And I know there's a few clubs down south that have been looking at him. So that to me that would be a real coup and one for the future. Exactly, and it's something we've been lacking. You know, we've got Suda and Lawless who are out and out wingers.
Yeah.
Apart from that,
Yeah, and Suda's not really been featuring in
who have we got? So you could bring the lad Forrest in, and there you go, you've got Forrest and Lawless as your out and out wingers.
I've got one more, but just before that, Jack Hamilton, a wee bit on him. I mean, I don't know the script with his loan. Can he come back in January, because we really need him?
I mean, I've said with Jack, I don't think it was the smartest bit of business letting him go out on loan.
Especially with only 2.
To be fair, we weren't expecting Lee Miller to be, injured, and then obviously he's moved on to Falkirk, and good luck to him with that as well. As much as it pains me to say it. But I think Jack kind of replicates Dykes quite a bit. He's kind of similar build, size. He's pretty quick. He kind of gives you that option. He'll go toe to toe with a centre half.
You've seen that because
that's why last season. And I think that's, as you say, I think that's exactly why Queen of the South brought him in, because how important Dykes was to Dobie last season. So I think Jack, if there was the option to bring him back, it's for the club. He's our player. It's not we're needing to go an outlay to go and bring someone in.
Yeah.
So
the other position is left back. I know we've signed Taylor Sinclair, but only till January.
Yeah, well,
so it's either an extension for him or looking elsewhere.
I'd have thought about that, but I personally feel now, after taking it into consideration, I've interviewed Ricky. He prefers to play centre half, but I personally feel he's better at left back. We saw the start of last season, he was probably, maybe a contender for Team of the Year at left back. You could say, until he got injured in December time. When we were flying.
He wasn't really playing as a left back. He was
playing
as a wing back.
It was more of a wing back, but
I think obviously we're not recording video content for this, but as soon as Bruni said that, me and you both kind of raised eyebrows at that.
Well, I personally feel I would, if you're going with 2 centre halves, I would go personally Lithgow and Guthrie. And I've looked at another player, Thomas O'Brien, who's at Arbroath. He's
big step up though, isn't it?
Going part-time
is it though?
well.
Because you thought that he is part-time, obviously. He's gone from League One to the Championship, and he's stepped up that. He's the best defender in the Championship at the moment. And I don't see... We've seen guys like Scott Pittman do it from the juniors, so
true.
Lots of options there.
Yeah.
So next up...
Love my transfers, mate.
This was a question that we got sent in by a few folk, and it's a difficult one to answer, so we'll try and be brief or as best we can with it. Thoughts on Gordon Bierskin's alleged involvement in the club, given his past history, and how will this affect the club? So for anybody that's been living under a rock, it was not announced, but rumours that this guy has been brought in to the club as a director, and he's had a bit of a shady past. Ewan?
What I would say as a club, we've shown over the last few years that we're willing to give folk a kind of second chance. And you might not agree with what the guy's done, but we've had other folk at the club who have ended up doing a lot of good for the club. So is that not how the justice system's meant to work?
I've been very consistent with how I've felt about this, and it goes way back to Decky Gallagher, Lithgow. If they've done the time, they've done the crime, done the time, they deserve a chance. And exactly my view. If that's how the justice system's meant to work, we're all meant to get a second chance. And if these people are trying to better themselves and improve themselves, then
prove the club as well.
What am I to say you shouldn't be doing that? Do I agree with the crime? No. But if he's trying to move on with his life and do better, then by all means let him go on with it.
And if he does good for the club, then it'll soon be forgotten, won't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day. Football fans are fickle.
Just finally, the last question: how many points will we have, and what position will we be in the league by the time the winter break comes around?
I think this comes down to a question we answered a few weeks ago on how many points we think we'll gain before the winter break, and we all kind of went with 10, didn't we? But we're probably behind that now with the draw against Hamilton, because we thought that was maybe a win.
Pick up a result elsewhere.
So how many points are we on just now? 14 points just now.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think.
So I would maybe add another 7.
Yeah, I was going to say
Onto that.
21.
And that should still keep us fairly comfortably mid-table, I would imagine.
You think so?
So yeah, I would say about 21 points and about 7th or 8th.
Yeah.
By the time the winter break comes, which we would all be delighted with, wouldn't we?
Yeah. I would go with that.
Yeah.
I'd hope for that 6 points, probably minimum.
Yeah. Looking at the games anyway. But yeah, thanks to everybody who sent in your questions, and I'm sure we got through them all. If we didn't get to yours, then we apologise, but
Andy, go and open your message, mate.
yeah, sorry for that.
What a professional.
Thanks for that, guys. Finally this week, let's look ahead to our game with Kilmarnock as we welcome Angelo Alessio's side to West Lothian.
That was such
That
a
was
struggle.
That was a good effort.
Great pronunciation there.
Thank you.
The most straightforward Italian name you'll ever see.
Thanks, guys. So at the moment, all these games are looking tough, aren't they?
Yes. That's been all for the Kilmarnock preview. No, Kelly are doing pretty well. They'd obviously struggled the early part of the season, but under Alessio, that's how you pronounce it, Andrew.
Thanks, mate.
They really kicked on, I believe. Time of recording again, they haven't played obviously on the Wednesday night. I think they're at home to St Johnstone, which
I'm kind of hoping they win that one.
they should win, and they should win comfortably as well.
I think Kelly are they're quite strange form wise. They seem to have a run of wins, but then they'll go on a run of defeats. They don't seem to be drawn that many games.
They drew yesterday.
I know they drew yesterday,
They came back for the
2 each with Hamilton as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they're kind of a bit unpredictable as well.
Yeah, their
They've got a
last
few injuries as well at the back. Stuart Findlay's out, which he's one of the kind of key
their last
players.
6 games kind of goes with that inconsistency. You know that they beat St Mirren 1-0, then got beat off Motherwell, beat off Aberdeen, then drew with Hamilton, then hammered Hearts, and then drew with Hibs. So there's no really a pattern going there.
I was going to come on to Finlay. It was at one point of the season, I think it was just before they played us as well. I think they kept 6 or 7 clean sheets in their last few games, and now they've conceded at least twice in 4 of their last 5.
Yeah,
except obviously the win against Hearts.
So it's
shows
that
how big
kind
a player he is
yeah.
for them.
But again, it just shows the unpredictable aspect of Kilmarnock.
Which is unusual for an Italian manager
Yeah.
in charge, because usually they're fairly consistent, hard to break down, win games 1-0, things like that.
They were kind of going with that theme when we last played them at Rugby Park, but since then they've, as I say, their form's been a bit erratic to say the least. So it's another one. It's a bit like Hearts. It's another one where you're going, I don't really know what to expect.
A positive wee stat here could be we're unbeaten at home against Kilmarnock since we returned to the top flight. The 2 games,
2 clean sheets.
0-0 and 1-0. Yeah, I haven't conceded to them on home soil. So
Well, it's not soil.
home
pellets.
home plastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some positive spins to put on the game.
2 El Plasticos in 1 week, man. Love it.
Scottish football fans are going berserk. We're buzzing about El Plasticos.
It is a hard one going into, and like you say, and we mentioned it in the Hearts preview and we mentioned it in the Hamilton review, it's difficult to assess where we are just now because we just don't know who's fit and who's not and who's at 70%, and a lot of games getting played in that short period of time with such a small squad.
Not knowing what we'll do on Wednesday, what they'll do on Wednesday.
Yeah. It's
Injuries
hard to
maybe.
predict. Yeah, it's hard to predict. That's why we're not going to go too much into the game. So we'll just go right into predictions for it.
Oh, we're doing predictions this early, Andrew.
Yes, we are, Callum.
Okay, wow.
You were going to wait till full time of the Kilmarnock game, weren't you?
No, I have
to do
to.
yours.
Come back to me.
Have
Have you noticed this? The leader's always first here. They're trying to go.
You're not the leader.
If anything, that's the prime opportunity because nobody wants to predict. I'm the only one that will predict the same score as someone else.
No, I've done it in the past. Ewan, let's hear your prediction then for it.
So I can go tactical now and copy them, so they can't get.
I'm going to predict. I feel we're due a 1. I'm going to predict 1-0 Livy.
Oh, that's I was going the same. for exactly the same reasons. I feel like we're due something to go for us.
It was a bit like the Killie game last season.
Yeah, and going
on a
by
wee bit of a run of form, and we just kind of thought.
Going by the stats that you kind of brought out there, Callum, 1-0 was jumping out at me as well.
So I've predicted a draw at Hearts. You have both predicted defeats. You've both predicted wins here, so I'm going to go. I think it's going to be back-to-back draws. So I think we're going to draw one each with Kilmarnock. Yeah. Two 1-1s.
Would we take that?
I'd take that. Right now, I'd take that.
Probably take 2
I think we need a win soon.
But yeah, okay, so none of us have predicted a defeat against Kilmarnock, so Kilmarnock will win. And none of us have predicted a win against Hearts, so Hearts will win.
And we'd also take 3 points out of 6.
Yeah.
So we can't complain. But yeah, obviously before that we've got Hearts at Tynecastle. So we can't really talk too much about this game before that. But there you go, that's our little.
But we've decided to do that anyway.
Need to get injured, please. That's it for another episode of TalkLivi. Thank you to everybody who continues to listen and support the podcast, and as well the club for the continued access and help that they bring us.
You can find TalkLivi on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter by just searching for TalkLivi. Hit like and follow and keep up to date with everything we're doing. You can also find this episode and all other episodes on all good podcast streaming sites, including iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, plus many more.
All our episodes are also on our website, talklivipodcast.libsyn.com. And finally, after a lot of work, got up and running with YouTube. Last week's episode is now on there, and going forward all our episodes will be uploaded. You can find us by searching TalkLivi. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, so go give us a listen, and if you like, leave a review. All your feedback's welcome, good or bad.
So from Andy, Callum and myself, thanks for listening to TalkLivi. We'll be back again next week as always to review the week. Let's hope for a bit of success going forward, and see you all at Tynecastle.
Have a good week.
Come on!